Our final interview of the night is coming up, and it's a rather unexpected one in many ways as well. It's a quick and largely unexpected return to the saddle for Davy Russell. That on the back of the terrible news for Jack Kennedy, of course. Smiling Davy Russell, how would you say you're feeling on the cusp of an unexpected return to race riding?
Hungry.
in every way.
Yeah. So I'm excited. It's like starting all over again. I switched off the engines, so we have to start them up again.
And it's been sort of 3-4 weeks. Had you allowed yourself to kind of physically and mentally disengage from racing and from the life of being a jockey?
Not so much from racing, but life of being a jockey had changed. Okay. Getting into the car, checking declarations, checking entries, planning my week, the race against the clock, I had slowed down, and it's just a matter of starting it up again. Look, it's only been 3 weeks. It's like I'm taking it as a suspension or something like that, and starting back up again.
And what about in terms of checking the weight? Is it the kind of perfect storm in terms of the time and the allowance that you've had, that you can kind of almost literally get back on the horse regarding your weight and your diet as well?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I'm not so sure if it had gone any longer how I would have been able to get the weight off. But I suppose it's just timing. Look, it's so unfortunate for Jack, and we didn't. It's the last thing that he needed and the team needed as well. So. Look, I know all the horses. I've ridden most of them. I know all the owners. Obviously it's only been a fortnight or 3 weeks, and it's just unfortunate. We're a very close team in Cullentra, and I never stopped riding out. Look, I'm not exactly 100% fit, but I'm not unfit.
What was your reaction when the call came through?
So it was just, Gordon was so good to me, and to be honest, I feel when all the owners were very supportive of the decision, and all the staff in the yard, and I mean all the staff, from the guys on the ground to the lads riding out. I felt a bit of a buzz around the place when I went in riding out Wednesday, and they're all waiting for my decision. And it was nice to get that feeling again.
We wish you all the best from the studio, from George and I. We're going to hand you over to the boys who are on track as well. I know Kevin and Fran have got loads of questions.
Tweedledum and Tweedledoo, is it?
Yeah.
How are you boys?
Good, Davey.
Davey, how are we?
Yeah.
Not too bad.
I think you're a lot fitter than I am at the moment anyway, Davey. Davey,
yeah.
Did you have to think long about when Gordon rang you?
The main reason of me coming back is for you to pay for your skiing holiday. But as it was, no, Kevin, it wasn't much of a holiday, was it?
No, I got the first half an hour of attempting to ski, Davey. I'd love to be able to tell you it was coming down a black slope and all that, but as you know, and I think the viewers would know as well, lack of ability, out of control, bottle rotten, put all those together is just a recipe for disaster.
Fair play, Davey, though. Obviously, Gordon Elliott needed a jockey, Kevin needed a jump jockey to pay the bills go as well. So
yeah. It was like the milk tray ad where your man skiing down through the slopes and he jumped out over the house and landed in on the bed with Angela, was it?
I'd love to be able to tell you that was the case, but it would be a downright lie. Sounds a good story, though, to be fair. I think Angela's attempting to divorce me, but she'd actually be quite surprised how good a patient I've been, Davey. Davey, on a serious note, great to obviously have you back. None of us saw this coming until, obviously, we know the reason. Did it take you, when Gordon made the phone call to you, did you genuinely have to think long about it?
I'm sure it wasn't that. I suppose there was loads of different things to put together, and as you well know, it's a tight team up there, and there was loads of cogs in the wheels. And look, when all the owners were supportive, and the staff on the ground and everything had to be considered, and of course you had the other jockeys to be considered as well. And look, we put it all together, and then look, come here. It's only been a fortnight or 3 weeks, and just imagine a matter of switching on the engines again.
And obviously, it has been only 3 weeks. You'll arrive in Fairyhouse tomorrow, like you never left. But had you missed the riding over the 3 weeks since you'd retired in Thurles and Liberty Dance before Christmas?
Well, missed it. Look, I don't know. I didn't miss it as much, but at the same time, I'm happy to go back at it. Do you know what I mean? I haven't stopped being a jockey, I suppose, really. I was watching all the races. I was wondering what horses I'd be riding, this and that. And it's different when Jack was there, because he was going to be riding a lot of them horses anyway. So, and now that Jack is gone, I'll put it to you this way. The last couple of days when I was declared on a lot of horses, the best horses in the yard, I was saying to myself, this is a marvellous place to be, to have the disposal of all these good horses. And that's the one thing that's set in my mind,
And Davey, you mentioned everybody needs a good horse, something like that, but which one horse are you really looking forward to getting back on?
I suppose the Dublin Racing Festival will tell a lot as in to what horses. Like, obviously I've schooled them, I've ridden them in school in hurdles and things, and I school them over fences is Mikey Potter, but you have to be impressed by the way he goes about things. There's a number of different horses in the yard, like, even the couple that I'm riding at the weekend, like the Jazzy Matty. I know it's a very tough race, but he was very unfortunate when he ran in Navan and then he won the next day. But he's a lovely horse. He's a big, he's a national hunt juvenile, if you know what I mean. You'd ride him he reminds you of Field Or in a way. Whether he's as good as him or not, I'm not quite sure. But, I love riding them type of horses. Horses that you can throw the reins down their neck and just point them to where they're going, and they'll either be good enough or they won't. But I just love riding them type of horses.
And you have 5 rides over the weekend, Dave. You have 2 obviously tomorrow at Fairyhouse. Budavista. I think I always can't pronounce that wrong. But a good run the last day when stepping up and trip, of course. That was third behind one of Liz Doyle's at Punchestown, the early part of December. And then moving on to Sunday, you got 3 rides. Minilla Crooner, of course, in the graded race, and 2 interesting maiden hurdle rides.
Yeah, I suppose the graded race, it nearly looks like the RSA for all the world. It's a very competitive race. But Manana Crooner has been very good since he went over fences. He's taken to it really well. I suppose the distance is probably on the short side for him, but it'll all be leading towards a bigger target later on in the year, and he needs the experience. The couples in the maiden hurdles, Fleur, it was a lovely horse. He's kept on improving with every run. And the Marteline horse of Bective Studs is a little bit keen in his ways. He needs to learn how to settle and race a little bit more economically. So, he's a work in progress. Boris Acker had a lovely run with me in Nav and surprised us. And he just came back after his break. He improved. He's probably a chaser for the future, but at the same time, he's going to be very competitive tomorrow.
Good stuff. And Davey, we're just going back to the decision again. Edel, your long-suffering wife, how did she take the decision, and what did she say to you when you...
She was delighted to get him out of the house.
I'd say she probably was, actually, yeah. Go back, please. I'm sick of you.
I actually think that she texted Gordon to tell him to take me off her hand. No, she was very supportive. Adele is a star. She obviously competed in sports events herself, so she knows the ups and ins and outs of it. And look, I said it to Lily and Finn, Tess and Liam, and my father told me, what did he say? He says, "You're mad." He says, "You're mad." He says, "And it runs in the family, and I can understand it." He says, "But you're still mad." And
we've always known that Davy Russell is mad, haven't we, Fran?
We do indeed, but Davy...
I think it's hereditary.
God help your kids coming along.
They're showing plenty of signs
You must be genuinely looking forward to it tomorrow. It's like starting all over again, I presume, is it?
Yeah. Look, I've taken it as if it was a suspension, or I broke my baby finger or something, and yeah.
And Davey, obviously a very short-lived retirement, and we knew you were planning for the future. You had to go being a tree surgeon there in the latter end of the year. How did that go for you?
Yeah, very well, and we're taking
nearly as well as my skiing, Fran.
We're taking bookings now before the next storm, so you know yourself. Have you any couple of trees up there, Fran, you need trimmed?
I wouldn't have the insurance to cover you after your escapades. Just for viewers' information, what exactly happened, Davey?
Down your long avenue there. What happened was I decided to climb up a tree and cut it down, but I got lazy and I was limbing on the tree, so I decided I wouldn't bother limbing the last one, and it decided to fall down on top of me, and all the limbs above my head squashed my arms, my legs, my head, cuts everywhere. Oh, it was like after getting the fall, the bleachers broke and I got kicked to the chairs. It was like one of them. So, but I was lucky enough, I was very well looked after. The same day now, the ambulance came in and I got a shot of ketamine, would you believe? And interesting stuff, I'd put it that way to you. Very interesting stuff.
You floated all the way home to y'all.
I could have drove the ambulance, Kevin. It was that good.
We must ask the lads in Chinese tonight if any that can.
And Davey, finally, before you go, we'll see you. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow at Fairy House. What is really exciting you about coming back?
Just riding. Just riding. Look, I love to wear them. I'm sure I'm going to get plenty of stick, and just riding the likes of Jazzy Matty and them, and throwing the reins down their neck. And look, I want to ride winners. There's no point in coming back. It's the winners. It's passing the line in front. That's all that matters. And it doesn't matter where the winners are, but it's just the winners. You know, you try to take out the grade ones and the 0 to 90 handicappers, but I want to ride winners when I come back, and that's what I miss. I want the winners.
Great to hear from Davy Russell, who'll be in action on Racing TV with 2 rides tomorrow at Fairy House.